to the strong. Mindset shift, no shortcuts, no fiction. Nestor and Daniel, raw truth conviction.
Drum roll, please. Little.
Good morning.
Hi.
How you doing today?
So we finally finished that move. I realized that we finished the move. We haven't organized the guy's fucking office or any of that shit. We just took everything out. Dolly made the mistake of allowing me to stick some things in the garage that I needed, that I wasn't going to throw away. And the guy literally said, I don't need this, throw it away. And I'm looking at it going, that's money. So I gave Dolly a job. I was like, your job is to inventory all of this. And let's see if we can sell it. Okay. So I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Listen. Anything, oh my God. Drained, physically, just sucked the life right out of me. Like by 6 o'clock, I'm ready to just die. I didn't want anything. And then I went to go work on airplanes the other day and did that one. Oh my God. I don't know if I should say this. Listen to this. Not yesterday, day before. I went to go, after I was done work, you know, with the move and everything, I'm sitting here. I'm about to relax. And I get a phone call. Can you please come to Palm Beach? You know, we're a little tied up and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, not happening. And then Nelson goes, what was that? And he's like, I was like, there's an airplane that they want us to look at. He goes, why not? I'm like, dude, I'm fucking beat. He goes, Nest, we got to go. I'm like, he was right. He's right. You know, because I mean, the whole purpose of the move, of taking the move, was just to get a little bit extra cash. It wasn't supposed to be
Extra
cash, not primary cash, right? So I was like, all right, fine. So we went to go, and we did 2 airplanes that night.
Mm-hmm.
We worked on 2 airplanes. You know, no big deal. It wasn't a like a huge day, but it was a decent day. It made up for a lot of things. So anyway, we come back, and then yesterday I get a phone call in the afternoon while we're in the move. I get a call from the representative of the airplane. Nest, what did you do? The airplane's not working the way it should. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What are you talking about? I said, first off, it's a fucking 50-year-old airplane. Old as dirt, right? So if it's old, I'm exaggerating. It's not just 50. It's could be like 45, but it's old. Do your pilots know how to work it? He goes, what? I said, do your pilots know how to work the airplane? I said, I'm telling you, everything worked last night. There must be something off. No, it's not working. He tells me, I went through the whole procedure on how to turn the system on. It's not working. So apparently, when I worked on the airplane, I worked on the air conditioning system because it wasn't heating up. It was only constantly cold, right? And that means that a temperature sensor inside the cabin is probably blocked, giving that space in the air warm, thus blowing cold air inside, not, you know what I mean? If the sensor is hot, then of course it's going to blow cold air. You know what I mean? That type deal. So went in there, I looked for the sensor, found the sensor, cleaned it. There's a duct because it's an armrest, right? Here's the wall of the airplane. Here's a couch called a divan. So there's an armrest right here. Well, the sensor is on the wall, but there's a duct that goes from the wall over to the end of the armrest. So so that it captures out here temperature, not inside the wall temperature, right? So it sucks in. So I cleaned this whole duct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sprayed it, air, fucking just cleaned it. And then I also went straight into the sensor itself, sprayed fucking like cold freeze to see if the system worked. Sure enough, system worked. I said, okay. It also leads me to believe that the crew probably didn't know how to use the airplane, because if it worked for me on the ground, it should have worked for them up in the air. So I didn't find any deficiencies. I didn't find any faults. I didn't find anything. Just it's a little clean. It's a little dirty. Let me just clean it off. It's fucking working. I send it. It's good. And then I get a phone call saying the airplane, nothing is working. There's no air coming out the packs. The packs are the little fucking turbos that blow everything over, right? And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. No, it's impossible. Nest, I'm sorry. I don't know. I got fucking crew ready to leave. They're on the airplane right now. What do we do? I was like, let me talk to them. So I got on the phone and I'm video and I said, let me FaceTime me. So we started FaceTime. I'm looking at the fucking buttons. Everything is pushed properly. And I'm like, this is weird, dude. I don't understand. I said, give me a second. I'll be right there. I hung up the phone. I called a buddy of mine. I said, where are you? He goes, Palm Beach. I said, I need help. Can you please go to this airplane? I'll cover your costs. Just do me a favor. Just go over there and talk to the crew. He goes, okay. So he gets there and he calls me, he FaceTimes me. He goes, all right, Ness, I'm here. I shut down the airplane. Great. Who shut it down? They did. Okay, cool. I said, do me a favor, disconnect the batteries. Just give it a whole hard reset. Just give it a reset. He goes, okay. But this is all mechanical. And I was like, just hear me out. I said, okay. Turned on the batteries, boom, boom, boom. I said, go ahead and turn off the auxiliary power unit, the APU. He did. He turned it on. And then he pushed the button for the bleed air, for the air conditioning. I was like, wait, you got to turn the generator on first. I said, and he couldn't hear me. And I started screaming at it through turn the generator on, turn the generator on. And then all of a sudden I hear the pilot go, oh yeah, I got it. And I'm like, what? Immediately my buddy goes, Nest, they never turned on the generators. And I said, wait, what? I said, and then my buddy goes, dude, we've been here 30 minutes with a fucking, engine running. Dude, it could have drained the battery and it killed the batteries, dude.
Oh my gosh.
And this is a pilot, right? But this is the guy who's flying the souls from one place to another.
Right.
Doesn't know
batteries die midair.
Well, they won't die in midair, but I'm just saying it's more of the aspect of you didn't know that you needed to turn this on. Don't fly my airplane. I would have fired him on the spot. I would have fired him on the spot. I am so sorry. I understand that it's an old airplane. I understand it might take an extra couple of fucking steps. But here's the thing, though. Everything on aviation is step one, step two. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Everything in aviation. Listen, I am not, I've always said it, I am not a good mechanic, but I am a fantastic problem solver. And I have been to airplanes that I've never touched before. Never. And just because I know the basics and I can use the pilot fucking checklist to turn on the airplane, there's a fucking pilot checklist for everything. Starting procedures, dude. Opening the door. I would have fired him on the spot. Or just say, you know what, finish your day and then get the fuck out of my airplane.
That's so crazy. So crazy that something so simple. It's so simple.
You know, it's just retarded that, and like I was telling Nelson, I was like, listen, I don't like this, dude. I don't like this. This doesn't happen to me, and I don't do this. And he was telling me, like, what do you mean? I'm like, listen, this is 3 airplanes, 3 weeks, 3 consecutive weeks, 3 different airplanes. that I get a phone call afterwards saying, "What did you do?" I don't like that, you know. And fortunately, the only one that I know I messed up on was the first one. The second two was pilot error. Literally switchologies, but still, you work on something, and then they call you saying, "Hey, what's going on?" Because the other guy's an idiot. Of course, they're going to doubt you. You know what I mean? It's like, so fortunately, yesterday and the last two airplanes, they realized, yeah, Nestor didn't fuck up. Just pilots are fucking idiots. But it's the whole aspect of, listen, you're 0 to 0 in 0.45 seconds.
No, that says a lot about. Whenever I have something that's not functioning properly, I always assume it's me. And then I go back and I retrace my steps to make sure that I did it right to begin with before I call somebody else. So that's
that's using your noggin, dude. That's using your force. We aren't experts at everything. We don't know. I mean, and sometimes even the most routine, monotonous fucking things get overlooked at. So I understand. Mm-hmm. But I truly apologize. I mean, it's all muscle memory, right? You get it. So everything is muscle memory. And here's the thing, dude. Even me, I never, ever, ever doubt. On the contrary, I actually admire. So when the two pilots are talking to each other and they're going, landing lights checks, fucking, when they're hitting their whatever buttons, they talk to each other and they go, okay, cool. So now we're gonna do this. Check. They're always checking. They're checking off. They're talking to each other. They're concurring together. It should be automatic. Beam, 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 beam. It should be muscle memory. If this is the airplane that you fly on a consistent basis, you should know this bitch like the back of your hand. It could be your first fucking job. It's fine. You got to start somewhere. But I would digest. Listen to me. If I was a pilot on a specific airplane, I would digest reading and learning how that motherfucker works. Because you can't pull over in the sky. You need to know what emergency procedures. You need to kind of somewhat be prepared. Don't just let it be. You know how many times, dude, you'll have a fucking mistake. Something breaks up in the air. And then you pick up the fucking. You have to have this time. Ready? Oh, that's on fire. Let's pull out the emergency checklist. And then you have to go. You have to, right? Oh, I am on fire. What do I do first? Okay. Click. Click. Click, 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 click. Okay, no more fire. We're good. So it could take you 30 seconds or fucking 33 minutes. It doesn't matter. They already know what the procedures are, right? Of course, hey, try to put out the fire or whatever it is, get the fire extinguisher. But meantime, the other motherfuckers pushing buttons to shutting off different systems. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys are supposed to be working together,
Right. That's why there's two of you. Oh.
But anyway, that was my biggest excitement. What else could I tell you? I see, literally, oh my God. I realized I'm really old.
You're not that old. You're only a couple years older than me.
I'm rusty.
It's your fault.
Yeah. I'm rusty. I got to do more yoga. I started to stretch.
Good.
Started to stretch. What the fuck?
I had the chiropractor yesterday. Finally.
Oh, how was that? How'd you do?
It was needed. I didn't realize I couldn't turn my head again. So I get to a point where, like, I can't look over my shoulder, and I don't realize it because I use my mirrors all the time when I'm driving. So It's not like everybody else where they checking the blind spot. Like my blind spot's all that. So like it's like mirror, mirror, and then go. And I just didn't realize it. And he was like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna start here today." I was like, "All right." And like I went to lay my head over, and it wouldn't move. He's like, "Yeah." So I was. It was necessary. It had been, I think, since Helene was the last time that I'd been, and I go once a week.
Oh wow.
So that's how my schedule has been. And like we went last night at like I think 7 o'clock. I don't know whenever sunset was. It was after sunset, and we went to go wash my truck because it was so muddy and had so much storm stuff all over the side of it that I hadn't had a chance to make it to the actual car wash I go to. So I went to the actual coin wash and sprayed my truck, and then I'm still gonna have to go to that other car wash because it's still dirty to give you the level of the grime that was on that thing. So
Wow.
yeah, because the truck that I would drive is in the swamp in one spot, and like it's down, I don't know, 2 miles of dirt road, 3 miles of dirt road. And every time it rains, there's about a foot of water in certain spots. So so that was last night. Um, yeah, chiropractor steaks. I only worked 9 hours yesterday, so that was like a little nice short day. I was happy about that one. Um, yeah, no. And then I had somebody call me about another business that sounds lucrative, and I think I'm gonna have to say no to it because of like
Time
it's
priorities.
yeah, it's time priorities, and that's be a very strategic way for me to say no, I suppose. I'll probably have to cut this part out because if he ever watches this. But he, it's because of the people that are working the the idea. So it's gonna be the same group of guys that was working the fence company, and the biggest problem with that is, I mean, it's a freaking phenomenal opportunity. We ended up rolling it into the other company, but they just don't execute. You're trying to get somebody to put together a spreadsheet that's based on their expertise for. I think we were trying to get that thing for a guy for 2 months, and I honestly don't think he ever produced it. And so he's going to be one of the people that's doing the engineering on this side, and the other guy didn't answer the phone and wouldn't put out proposals after quotes were or after the going to look at the properties that needed what was needed and tell them everything that's needed here. Here's what I think it's going to take. Review it, send out the proposal, and it was like things that I would stay up all night to get done before I leave town, and he wouldn't get it done, and then he wouldn't answer the phone. So I think yeah, it was like it's very difficult for me to say no to things because I'm hungry and I want them, but the time is one thing, but then the value of me putting my focus there and having somebody not execute and that being the way they operate, knowingly operate, I don't think I'm gonna lose my shit. And I love this man like a brother. And if he does it again, I'll fucking lose my shit. So it's a difficult one. Usually
Yeah.
you operate with grace and forgiveness, but I mean you don't have to be blind.
Yeah, it is a little difficult, but I can tell you from personal experiences that sometimes, well, first off, life gives you the universe, everything, however it is. Sometimes we make plans, right? So we make plans, we make ideas, we make goals. Hey, for example, my becoming a pirate goal, right? Just chilling, having my boat, having the opportunity to go fishing every day, playing on my guitar, chilling with my with my wife just becoming a fucking sea hag. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna relax and fish every day and get paid while I'm fishing. Get paid while I'm fishing. Not because I'm fishing professionally or I'm a professional captain. No, I want to make money while I'm generate cash while I'm doing something I love to do. That's how you become a professional at something, right? Getting paid to do something you love. Well, when we have that vision, we think that we have the idea and we have a solution. What we have is a start, right? Because let's just say, simple example, but it's very effective. I need an extra $1,000. Here's a great example. I need $1,000 to send my wife to do the MTHR test for my wife and all that gene testing and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I need to generate an extra $1,000. Okay, cool. How do we do this? Okay, I can go it like this, and then all of a sudden I can find a fucking lottery thing, and then guess what? I just won $1,000.
Hmm.
So life said, don't worry about that one. Just go ahead and use this money or whatever it is. You know, you see what I'm saying? Life will give you what you want, but it'll give it to you in its own way. So, for
Right.
example, maybe it's not meant for me to become um maybe it's not meant for me to go a certain route in order to become become the pirate or have that lifestyle that I'm looking for. Maybe life says, you know what? Maybe you got to go this way, and it'll give me other opportunities to generate that income, to generate that monies. In other words, the end goal is the same. The journey is different, right?
Mhm.
So maybe that's it because it'll show you different aspects and say, hey, you have this opportunity. What are you going to do about it? Are you still sticking to it or not? You know what I mean? There's different ways of it. Also, it will never trick you, but it'll give you just enough what you need to make an educated decision.
Mm. Yeah. And I found it very interesting that it was, I was reflecting on a conversation that we had had prior, like me and that person had had, and he was talking to me about coming back to his company that I was there a few years ago, and then of
Yeah.
course, when we started the fencing operations, and then that rolled into that company as well. And he's like, you know what, we should get you back over here, and I was just like, why
Yeah.
would I? Was kind of the thought process, and so I was selling life insurance and I was going out and doing quotes for the fence company as we were starting it up. And then he was like, I think you should really like take the foot off the gas on the life insurance and focus
Oh,
all of your attention here. And and I was like, if that becomes the workload warranted, then we can talk about that, but that's fine. Literally the same week is when he starts becoming responsive and not doing his part. And so I'm like, so you want me to slit my own throat on this side and bleed out while you're off doing what you feel is more important over here? And then, but we need to come back to that. And yeah, no, so I was reflecting on that. And then when I got back in the truck after loading the equipment, I saw the text message, give me a call. I have a new idea. I think this has legs. We should get on it. And I mean, it's a phenomenal idea. It seems like it's a pretty inexpensive startup, but there's that. And then it just started making me think back to the one of the Bedros Keuilian, where he's talking about, when I operate in business, he's like, I give people one chance to actually like And if they fuck me over or don't do their part, then I just never work with them again. He's like, there's nothing wrong with them. They're good people, but he's like, that door is closed. I think that's kind of something that I need to stick to there, even though I think it's a very
Just
big opportunity to pass up on.
just think about it this way too, because people come into your life whenever they need to, whenever
Yeah,
life says, okay, you know what I mean? So they'll come back, they'll leave, and they'll come back, they'll leave and come back. Either A, they're there to help you, or they're there for you to help them. That's the only reason why people come into your lives. So if they can't help you and you don't want to help, well, you know what I mean? And that's
mm,
then it's just they're they're an NPC, dude. They're just you know what I
mm,
mean? They're an NPC. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um Ultimately, that's the funny thing. I know many times like we tend to go, I just don't want to hurt their feelings or I don't want to do this, but we tend to hurt people's feelings more when we do things that we don't want to do for them too.
yeah,
Why? Because we're gonna do it in a bad mood. We're gonna
that's
do it.
hurt.
We're gonna do it with like oh fuck, like not with love, And even if you don't do it with love, if you don't do it like caringly, it's not. You don't know if it's gonna be done right. You're not gonna give it 100%. So if you there's really no point in doing things that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? It's just there really isn't. Now I understand. Listen, there's different things like I don't want to go to work, but I have to. That's different. You know, I'm talking about, I'm talking about fucking like certain favors and certain things and certain attitudes, certain example. So I haven't talked with the blind brother yet. Remember, we need to talk, we need to talk, we need to talk. I just spent 3 days with this guy, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and
It never came up, did it?
we never hit that. I thought about it, but who's wants to talk to me? Am I the one that needs to talk? Am I the one that wants to share information? Am I the one that has questions that need answered? No, I don't give a fuck. He does. 3 days, dude. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now, yes, we were busy, 100%. Yes, when we were done, I drop him off at his house, you know. But
You in the car with you?
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. No, and then for example, there was a space of about 45 minutes that we were just sitting together, waiting because they had to. They moved us out of the hangar. Uh, they were pulling airplanes out of the hangar, and we had the U-Haul truck inside. So we're like, "Hey guys, let me move some shit around." And then I was like, "Okay." So we waited 45 minutes for them to finish playing, fucking stacking the hangar, organizing some shit, and so we were just waiting because we had all the stuff to put in the U-Haul, and we're not, you know what I mean. So once they were done, we pulled the U-Haul back in. So 45 minutes easily, we were just like this. Now we talked about different things. We weren't quiet the whole time, but internally, I'm thinking this is a good opportunity to talk. I don't know if I need. I don't know if I need to address it. Like literally, this is the conversation I'm having with myself. Like, should I say something? Wait, but I'm not the one that needs to talk to me. He needs to talk to me. Maybe it's not enough time. Maybe he's thinking something. I don't know. I didn't bring it up. Fuck it. But dude, it's I don't know. Today I have to dedicate the day to the house. Oh, tomorrow I have a doctor. I have a doctor appointment today with Dolly. I got a doctor appointment tomorrow with my mom. But oh shit, and I'm going to temp on Monday.
Are you? Yeah.
Oh,
So I was wrong about my parents getting here on yesterday because yesterday is Wednesday, and I just didn't know what day of the week it was. I thought it was Thursday. so they'll be here this afternoon.
They'll be there today. Good.
Yeah, and the fishing is a no go because it's 6 foot seas. The 6 foot at 6 seconds is what the guy said. I was like, that sounds pretty brutal. He's like, it would not be fun.
Yeah.
He was like, that would not be fun at all.
Wow.
I was like, so we're no go for fishing, which
How
is
long are they staying for?
they're flying out Tuesday.
Oh,
So they're both retired, but they're only coming for like 4 days. But it's fine. I'll probably. I wasn't going to take the time off, but I was just thinking about it more. And I think I actually take the time off.
yeah. Spend time with them is important. I mean, look what Jesse Isler says. I mean, right? How much more time do we have with them? It's like, oh, I got 10 years left. No, you don't, dude. I mean, times a year you see him. You see him once, you see him twice, you see him 3 times, depending on whatever. So
Yeah.
so we
Jesse
don't
says that
know.
too?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and that's the only person I've ever heard say it before.
No, sir. No, sir.
Nice.
He said it the other day. Remember when he made his big ass calendar? You haven't seen the big ass calendar, the Jesse Isler calendar?
He
All
has a
right.
big ass calendar.
So he came out with that's exactly what it's called. A big ass calendar.
I didn't know where this came from.
Yes, the big ass calendar.
Had no clue.
Yeah, that was Jesse's design.
Somebody gave it to me and I didn't have anywhere to put it.
How big is it? I want one. That's not bad. Okay. That's like a whiteboard.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. So what he does, and he says it, and he already knows exactly what 2025 is going to be like. So that's what he says. He goes, what are the things that I want to do next year that I want to accomplish? What are the things that are most important? What time do I have to spend with my family? What time do I have to spend with my mom? What time do I have to spend with my dad? Whatever it may be. What time do I have to spend for work or this and that? But if you plan your personal experiences he's like, hey, I know there's a race and this guy's doing 100+ miles, dude. You know what I mean? So he's a fucking avid runner. So he does all this stuff. Now, yes, Sarah is a billionaire. They got more money than God has patience.
Like they're both rich.
Yeah.
His wife dwarfs him, but yeah.
Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Dwarfs. And now she came out with the shoes. Yeah,
Did she really?
Oh yeah. Sarah came out with she just came out with some high heel sneakers.
Huh.
So I haven't tried them on yet. I don't think
That's funny. I met their neighbor when I was doing some side hustle stuff. Gosh, a couple years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. She had bought
Where
a
in New
Peloton
York?
here.
Oh.
She was their house in Georgia. And she lived in Cape Coral. She bought a Peloton. And I was delivering it. And she was like,
Nice.
oh, yeah. She's like, you remind me of David Goggins. I was like, that's funny. She's like, do you know who he is? I was like, yeah. She's like, I met him. I was like, how on earth did you meet him? She's like, he was living with my neighbor. I was like, you lived next to Jesse and Sarah. And she's like, oh, so you do know. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like just so random. But yeah, there was a
That's awesome.
garage. So I was just like, yeah, I can believe that you actually might have lived next to them if you have a Ferrari in your garage. So but no, that's like legit. Cool. But yeah, so that's how we used to plan our races in the warehouse gym there before we moved and it got destroyed by Ian. There's a big calendar, and that's how it would track my workouts. And we had the race schedule for the Spartans that we wanted to run that year, and so He's like, they don't have the laminated one that I used to get, but I found this one, and he gave it to me, and I was like, where the am I gonna put that thing? It's massive. Like it's almost the same size as my TV.
It's
Like
for the whole year. Yeah.
so. Yeah, the other one was probably the size of one of these whiteboards here. It's still pretty freaking big, but it just yeah, got nothing. And it's like I'm looking at it, I was like, dang, I had to order one for 2025. Start working.
Yeah. So wait, I think that was it. Never mind. I thought we were still talking about something, and then I was gonna move on.
Yeah, no, we were still talking about the
Yeah, big ass calendar. Yeah, no. So fucking yeah, that was Jesse's thing. Uh I don't there is a lot of truth into that, into writing down. Like for example, I know we haven't been in my office. You know, my office has been mostly a junk store, and my mom was there, and we have another house guest arriving towards the end of the month. So I'm like, you know. Plus, my wife wants to organize. Today will probably be a Halloween decoration day. You know, getting everything out, taking full advantage that I'm home with her, type deal. Um, but I used to write down, and I have my journal. I used to know exactly how much I made every single day.
yeah.
You know, up until about 2 years ago, I stopped doing that. I was doing it, and then I just started slowly stop doing it. But before then, dude, I knew exactly. It's like I would write a goal like $10,000 for the week, for example, or whatever it is, you know, and I would write a goal. And I knew, hey, I made $500 today. I made 1,000. I made 2,000. I made 500. I made, whatever it was. And then I would write down specifically to the dollar, to the cent, how much I made that day, and then see if it was on track. And that does work, because sometimes, you're short on the week and you don't even know it. You're like, fuck, dude, I gotta get an extra one. I gotta get an extra one, and
No.
when you start looking for that extra one, it comes.
Find it. Yeah.
Oh, it comes. Because if you don't know, then you fucking fall back and relax. Well, up until about 2 years ago, that's how I played my life. That's how I was doing a lot of my things. And then I said, you know what? Fuck it. I started focusing less on that aspect, and I started focusing more on me, learning more about me, my wife. Don't want to say the home life, but I was just focusing more on me and spending more time with my wife, getting to know each other more. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that, do we still love each other? Do we still like each other? Do we still, now it's even better than ever. But
Mm.
what I'm saying. So I know that when I stopped worrying about where my money was coming from, I stopped worrying. It's like, and when I say that, I don't want to say I learned, because I'm not creating millions of dollars. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
I have a very, very very comfortable life without even trying to break a sweat.
Mm.
And that's the part that's the one that taught me, going, wait a moment. So now we just do the whole, how much do we need next week? Do I have to work this week? Now it just became different, like now it just shows up. Little things here and there just show up, and it's a significant amount. I mean, you've seen it. It's been decent. And it's nothing like before, because before it
Mm.
was, dude, before I was more focused on making fucking 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 grand a month. Whatever. How much can I make this month? I didn't care. Now I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I may not have, extra cash lying around or whatever, but I'm really enjoying this time. I'm enjoying the moment. Something I didn't do before. This is
Yeah.
new to me. So I don't know. I'm just
So how many? This is a lifestyle that you can sustain for. the foreseeable future, or is it
This
something where you need to figure out a
Mm,
way to make the money work without you, or make the money come without you
well,
working?
that's what we're doing now, though, right? I mean,
No.
that's because me and her, we have different ideas. Like right now, I'm working on a project with her. It's her
Hmm.
project, you know, and it's just another. Listen, dude, I wish I could actually. Okay, walk with me, and I'll show you. Let's see. So my office, that was all fuckered up. This is what it comes down to
Seen that
right here.
office.
This is what's that?
You said I have seen that office.
Yeah, this is what it comes down to right there. That's it. You know, if this number, if this whole number needs to be, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000, 100 grand a month, it doesn't matter. Whatever number it needs, 5,000 a month. Then these H1 needs to be have a number. We
Hmm.
can't rely all of it of all my 5,000 coming in from this because then I become a slave.
Hmm.
And that's the only thing. I have no problem getting 250, 500, 300, 1,000, 10,000, 200. That's basically what it comes down to, you know? And you see all the holes, because I really haven't updated. There's a lot of I've taken a lot of things out, a lot of them this year. I always update it once a year. And I got a lot of patches that I got to move out of the way. But yeah, I got to clean it. Yeah, this room is a mess, dude. This room is a mess. This is where my mom was staying. I gave her,
Gotcha.
so that's why I couldn't stay here. But anyway, my my library is all stacked back there. It's all
You can't even get in the
I
vault.
can't get in until no. Yeah, this is crazy,
Yeah.
you know. And the only reason this is here like this is because
Jeez.
I miss my. I should be working on there. You
Yeah,
know.
you should. Mine's not nearly that. I got a laptop. It was funny. You
Yeah,
sent me that picture, and it was like the three laptops that were sitting up, and I've got different stuff on different screens and different devices, just so I can work on work on more things than one. And
yeah,
then I
yeah.
freaking ended up putting a TV over here and getting rid of the other two laptops, which has made my life significantly easier. But at some point, I need to buy a multi-unit and just get to work. May 2023.
It's been the last time that I started. Look at that. That's the last time I played with this calendar.
Mm.
Jesus. I'm telling you, I used to write everything. I used to write down how much I made. I used to, on this side, I used to know exactly how much I made in that month, so I had the whole January to December. I used to write that shit down, how much I made for the month, different fucking goals. Yeah, dude. I need to go back. Right now, everything is different. I love this painting. It's one of the best things I've ever bought.
No.
I wish I had, yeah, find the original. I love it. Just gives me ideas for me to paint something. That
Mm.
part of my idea has to do with that. All right, let's go back outside. Meow.
Why do you have a fire extinguisher sitting in the middle of your billiard room?
Because it's supposed to go in the van. That's one of the extra things that I picked up from the oh dude, this is bad. It was one of the extra things that I knew I needed for my van. And there was like 4 fire extinguishers. Look at this. This is part of my after I'm done talking to you. Oh, you can't really see it, dude. Beautiful.
You see the big moon the other night? Gosh,
Yeah, I saw part of it. I
freaking
love sitting. I love sitting
nice.
down. I love
You know,
sitting down.
the weather's coming back to where you're actually going to be able to enjoy that to the fullest. So that's
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's starting to cool down. It's nice and cool today. It's down like in the 70s right
it was supposed to hit like 59.
now. What?
Yeah, I think it's 59
I
is what it was
I
supposed to hit. It might have been 60, but
yeah.
I
I
was
gotta
very happy.
see. I gotta put that back inside. That's my ice.
Mm.
I gotta put that back over there. This one here, I got it all drained. This is the hot tub. I gotta fucking. I drained the hot tub to clean it. I got a lot of work, man. Fuck. Yeah.
Oh,
What time is it? Oh, we got time.
oh. No, I woke up this morning at 3:15 and I was like, I'm not going to the gym today. I was like, I think we're gonna rest. And that's been the mode since this whole hurricane bullshit started last week. Like just trying to catch up on sleep for not sleeping for 3 days, 2 days, whatever the fuck it was. So I'm gonna kick it back off this weekend, I suppose, and start getting back to old habits, good habits, energizing habits.
What was it? Uh, because everything is a habit, right? Everything
Mm-hmm.
we everything we do is a habit. So, I mean, we got the waking up process done. We got the, but even sometimes,
I'm just tired, honestly. Is all it was.
yeah,
Like I like physically, mentally just beat. And I was like, all right, yeah, well, you can't just use that as an excuse forever. So you need to get
no,
back to work. So tomorrow morning, I say this weekend, might even be this afternoon. I don't know if I have time, but I doubt I'll have time before I get back to my parents. But yeah, tomorrow morning I'll be back at it. And I'm not actually looking forward to it at all. I was like, how can you be this sore when you haven't been doing any lifting? Like, what's going on? And it happens every time that I like if I take a break for like a week, go on vacation, I feel like I've been beaten with a baseball bat and everything hurts. Like all the muscles in my back, my chest, my legs, my butt, and like everything is just sore. And I was like,
do you think it's because you let your body get cold?
I mean, it is in the morning.
Only reason I ask, for example, during the day while we're moving around doing the hard labor, doing the hard work, um, you know, yeah, it hurt, especially my lower back, my hip, especially that. It's like, oh fuck, bend at the knees, not don't bend, don't lift your back, all that bullshit. Oh shit, did it die?
What? Did it die?
Oh, yeah. One of
Uh,
them died, the other one's working. So
yeah.
anyway, like I was saying, at the end of the day, dude, after I sat down for a little, or when I'm on a drive back home, and I want to get out and move, like, oh, it's just kind of like freezes. Oh, it's horrible. I don't like that feeling at all. I don't like that one. When
Yeah.
it just makes me feel like I'm rusty. Like you talked to the other day about how do I make sure that I don't fucking, uh, and I just said I constantly have to have some type of chaos in my life.
Yeah, just um, to stay out of your comfort zone. Like,
I
how do you
need to
break?
stay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
break out of that comfort zone.
yes. I need to have something to keep me on my toes a little bit, even if it's a little bit, even if it's relaxation days. Something's got to be keeping me on my toes. If not, you become stagnant water. You know, I mean,
You
how
start to
long?
stink.
There's nothing fresher. There's nothing better, nothing fresher than Brent. Just clear, purified, delicious, uh, hydrogen infused water. Right? Great, delicious. But I can leave this same water that it's 100% drinkable and leave it here on the table for 3 days. Only 3 days, dude. Drink it afterwards. See what you're gonna find.
It
That's just
doesn't
gonna
taste
be
good.
fucking. It's gonna be contaminated. It's gonna make you sick. It's gonna be stagnant. You leave it there for a month, you're gonna start growing algae. You leave it there for another week or so. In a week, it'll start having fucking mosquito larvae growing inside, turning into mulch. Turning it into just disgusting water. And that's what
Hmm.
happens to us. I really believe that happens to us. I
Hmm.
do, I do, I do, I do, because I feel it. It happens with me. I do. I think that if we freeze, if we are first stuck, if we're oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what I know when I do stop. I used to always say that when I stop, I start to hurt every time. It's like I don't have any choice but to continue. And they're like, that's not true. You watch me waddle out of the bedroom in the morning till everything warms up. It's been too many days. Like, so yeah, no. Unfortunately, I do have to get back at it. And it's just interesting to me because it's not like I don't have a physical job. So like people have started and quit because it's too physical, and I've been hurt.
yeah, it's not just driving. I don't think you just drive a truck. Get in and
So
drive.
it's just like yeah. So it's very interesting that I would be at this level, but whatever. Right? I'll just go back to being that savage that I like to be, anyways. Feels good to destroy everything. So
It's part of the persona that everybody looks forward to dealing with. You know.
yeah,
But anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I got some things that I gotta start working on. You gotta start working too pretty
Nestor and
soon.
Daniel,
no, I'm gonna
raw
actually
truth,
roll out
conviction.
right now.